PS5 is getting a lineup of upcoming titles built around bold visuals and ambitious design. These games will feature detailed worlds, fast action, and systems made for modern hardware. Across different genres, each one stands out for its striking presentation. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Galactic League! Since you're
Star Wars Galactic Racer places players in an underground racing league formed after the fall of the Empire, where syndicates sponsor pilots and victories build reputation and rewards. Players drive different types of repulsor craft, including land speeders, speeder bikes, skim speeders, and pod racers, each with unique handling. Races allow aggressive tactics like slamming, shunting, and taking down rivals. The game includes a story campaign, competitive multiplayer modes, vehicle customization, and progression through league ranks.
Impeding! If they weren't holding me back right now, I'd have you frozen in carbonite!
Star Wars Zero Company is a single-player, turn-based tactics game set near the end of the Clone Wars. Players command Hawks, a former Republic officer who leads an elite squad made up of hired specialists from across the galaxy. Missions involve positioning units, using abilities, and planning turns carefully to overcome stronger enemies. The story revolves around an operation against a rising threat, forcing uneasy allies to work together through dangerous assignments.
Fought in the shadows. The war beneath the war. A war that's won with the right strategy. Surveillance, ciphers, good old-fashioned sabotage. These aren't the heroes they tell stories about. They're professionals. Setting aside their differences to take on the impossible. But that's the job, and they get it done.
Star Wars Eclipse is an action-adventure game set during the High Republic era in a distant part of the Outer Rim. Players control multiple characters, each with their own goals and story paths that can lead to different outcomes. The game uses a branching narrative where choices affect events, alliances, and character survival. Gameplay is expected to include lightsaber combat, blaster fights, and vehicle sequences, combined with a strong focus on story decisions and political conflict. Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic is a single-player action RPG set during the Old Republic era, where the galaxy stands at a turning point between light and dark. Players shape their character through major choices that affect the story, allies, and long-term consequences. The game focuses on narrative decisions, character relationships, and combat across different locations. It aims to deliver a story-driven experience built around player choice, memorable characters, and a galaxy in transition. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic Remake is a modern reimagining of the classic RPG set 4,000 years before the Galactic Empire, during the conflict between the Jedi and the Sith. Players shape their character through choices that affect the story, companions, and alignment with the Force. Combat is expected to update the original mix of turn-based and action systems, with lightsaber customization and Force abilities. The remake also introduces updated visuals, animations, and a more dynamic third-person combat approach. Star Trek Voyager: Across the Unknown is a story-driven survival strategy game where players take command of the USS Voyager and manage its crew, systems, and limited resources. Each mission requires decisions about diplomacy, combat, research, and route planning while facing unpredictable threats. The game includes branching scenarios where choices can change crew outcomes and story events. Roguelike elements create different situations in each run, forcing players to adapt their strategy and accept the consequences.
The biggest fears of an astronaut doing extravehicular activity, or EVA, is somehow becoming detached and floating away.
The Expanse Osiris Reborn is a third-person action RPG where players control a mercenary captain caught in a system-wide conspiracy after a lockdown on the asteroid Eros. Players create their own character, choose a background, and lead a crew of specialists while managing relationships and decisions. Combat uses cover-based gunplay with 2 companions in the field and others providing support. The game includes ship management, dialogue choices, and missions across locations like Mars, Ceres, Ganymede, and Luna.
That would be too clumsy, and so mag boots is a creative way to kind of compromise and keep it realistic, but also be able to be reactive. But the fear is the same, becoming detached somehow and drifting away. And that's just one example. Even firearms would behave differently in space. Recoil and ballistics would also be different. People think about space as silent, but silence can mean danger. For example, inside of the spacesuit, there's a steady hum of the fan that's blowing oxygen over your face. The people at Alcat Games did some research and figured out that vibrations caused by shots inside of a vehicle would translate to the hull and likely be felt through the mag boots.
We love the idea, but had to adapt it. Pure realism would mean almost no sound in combat. No vacuum, you hear more than Austiners do, but far less than in atmosphere. What you hear is what your character feels. Breath, comes, vibrations. The tension stays, and so does the fear.
Mission crews train for months, even years together. The commander is chosen first and sets the tone. Just like in the game, trust takes time and shared experience.
The ship is crew's home. To craft the right atmosphere, we focus on the smallest of details. Life in space changes tastes. Astronauts often crave spices just to feel such sensations again. On pink water meals created from what could actually be grown in orbit. And in the same spirit, you'll even hear your companions discussing food and ingredients on the ship. We hope that our approach to blending realism with gameplay considerations will make players experience something engaging and truly immersive.
Hugh, look! What's this?
That's the Earth.
Pragmata is a science fiction action-adventure where players control Hugh, an astronaut stranded on a lunar research station alongside an android companion named Diana. The two must work together to move through the facility and deal with threats using a mix of action combat and hacking mechanics. Players combine shooting with real-time hacking sequences to disable enemies and systems. Progress depends on coordinating both characters while navigating the station and solving combat encounters.
Hey, Hugh? What were you like as a kid?
When I was young, I was in an orphanage. I was a lot like you. I had a few bumps along the way. But I had someone looking out for me. And now it's your turn.
Removal time exceeding estimates. Deploying reinforcements.
What in the...
It's me! You gotta let me in! They're right behind me! Open the fucking door!
Directive 8020 is a cinematic sci-fi horror adventure where the crew of the colony ship Cassiopeia crash lands on a distant planet and faces a deadly alien organism that can mimic humans. Players guide different crew members through tense situations, making choices that affect trust, survival, and the story's outcome. Gameplay mixes stealth, quick reactions, and improvised weapons while avoiding the creature. Branching decisions lead to different paths, character fates, and multiple endings.
Not one goddamn step.
It's me, please!
Better be a fucking alien.
Leave me out here, please!
The question is, what are you going to do about it?
In the grim darkness.
Total War Warhammer 40,000 is a strategy game that combines turn-based galactic management with large real-time battles across the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Players command major factions like Space Marines, Orcs, Eldari, and the Astra Militarum, each with distinct units and combat styles. Campaign gameplay involves capturing planets, managing resources, upgrading fleets, and expanding territory. Battles feature large armies, war machines, special abilities, and destructive tactics, with options to customize armies and leaders.
Across countless worlds, battles rage.
Lead your armies. Conquer worlds. Fight on as the galaxy burns. For there is no peace amongst the stars. There is only war.
Repackage the human experience into a single, long-lasting, easy-to-ingest tablet.
High on Life 2 is a single-player action-adventure where players take on bounty missions across different alien locations while using a collection of talking weapons with unique abilities. Combat mixes shooting, close-range attacks, and movement tools like a skateboard to navigate levels and fight enemies. The story involves tracking targets, dealing with a conspiracy, and protecting the protagonist's sister. Missions take place in varied environments, with characters, enemies, and objectives changing across each area.
Bounty on ahead!
You got this, Lizzie?
Yeah, Gene, I'm on it. Stay with me. Listen up. We are all criminals now. Welcome to the revolution.
Finishing the mission. Keeping people safe.
Saros is a third-person action game that mixes shooter combat, bullet hell encounters, and roguelike progression. Players control Soltari enforcer Arjun Devraj as he investigates a lost colony on the planet Carcosa. Combat includes blocking attacks with the Soltari shield, absorbing projectile energy, and converting it into powerful weapons. Each death allows permanent upgrades to weapons and suit systems for later runs. Players also collect holograms that reveal the colony's history and events.
The hostile shape-shifting planet of Carcosa. As you encounter a variety of ever more brutal hostiles, death is inevitable. But in Saros, death only means that you will come back stronger. Welcome to the Passage. You are not on your own. Interacting with the survivors of Echelon 4 will help you understand the mysteries of Carcosa.
I can't believe so many are gone. They didn't all die. Some of them changed.
This is Primary, the voice of Soltari. Here you can engage with our permanent progression systems to upgrade your armor's attributes and acquire special perks. With Carcosan modifiers, you can adjust your experience by, for example, making hostiles tougher, weaker, or even removing the second chance ability entirely. However, all adjustments you choose must be kept in balance to ensure a consistent challenge level. Primary also allows you to teleport directly to any biome that you have unlocked. This means getting back into the action quicker. It also means easier replayability the further you get into the world. Using the teleport, you can now quickly restart the selected biome and get back to where you were. And now it's time to take another shot at what killed you the first time around. Eventually, you come across an alien device. By using it, you discover that it calls the Eclipse. The Eclipse corrupts the world. It's a complete escalation of our gameplay, our audio, and our visuals on Carcosa. Hostiles now shoot corrupted projectiles, which reduce your maximum armor integrity, but you can restore it by using your power weapon. Weapons and artifacts also become corrupted, which alters them in both positive and negative ways, which ramps up the challenge. We can't wait for you to play Saros when we launch on April 30, 2026.
This place has only been accessible to approved scientists and factions till now.
Icarus Console Edition is a PvE survival game where players drop onto a hostile terraformed planet to gather resources, craft equipment, and build shelters while managing oxygen and environmental threats. The game features session-based missions as well as a persistent open-world mode with support for up to 4-player co-op. Players mine terrain, defend bases from extreme storms, and tame animals for bonuses. The Console Edition includes the New Frontiers expansion with the Olympus and Prometheus maps.
You say?
Marathon is a PvPvE extraction shooter where players control bio-cybernetic runners who enter the abandoned colony on Tau Ceti 4 to scavenge valuable loot. Each run involves exploring hostile zones, fighting AI enemies and rival players, and escaping with collected gear. Players can customize runner shells, weapons, and implants to build different loadouts. Faction contracts, seasonal progression, and team strategies affect each mission, while lost gear adds risk to every extraction attempt. Tides of Annihilation is a fantasy action-adventure set in a ruined version of modern London after an invasion from another realm. Players control Gwendolyn and fight enemies using a combat system that summons spectral knights inspired by Arthurian legend. Each knight provides different abilities, allowing players to combine attacks and build their own fighting style. The game also includes large battles against colossal knights, along with story missions tied to saving Gwendolyn's family. State of Decay 3 is an open-world survival game set years after a zombie outbreak, where players build and manage a community of survivors. Gameplay involves scavenging for resources, defending against infected threats, and expanding a shared base over time. Each survivor has unique abilities, and permanent death means losing them if they fall in combat. Choices affect events and storylines, while online co-op allows up to 4 players to build and maintain a settlement together. Cronos: The New Dawn is a third-person survival horror game where players control a traveler who moves between a ruined future and 1980s Poland to stop a catastrophic event called the Change. Combat focuses on limited resources, careful shooting, and tools like flamethrowers and charge weapons. Enemies can merge with corpses to grow stronger, forcing players to burn bodies to prevent transformations. The game also includes environmental puzzles and story details revealed through logs and records.
The orphans grow even stronger as they merge. Efficiency discipline is recommended. Such is our calling.
Follow your purpose. Gather the other essences.
The vocation must go on. I need to do my part. The steelworks. The outbreak. His mission. My awakening. I need to make sense of it all.
About keeping everyone alive.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is a cooperative first-person shooter where players choose different mercenary classes and fight large waves of monsters across semi-open maps. Teams of up to 4 players share ammo, revive teammates, and coordinate attacks while using guns, grenades, and special abilities. The game also includes vehicles with unique weapons or tools that help squads move through areas and survive encounters. Missions focus on teamwork, heavy combat, and handling constant enemy swarms. The Mound Omen of Cthulhu is a cooperative action-adventure where up to 4 players form an expedition team searching for treasure in a cursed jungle. Before each mission, players choose weapons and equipment, then venture deeper into dangerous areas filled with hostile creatures and strange phenomena. Supernatural forces can distort perception, creating hallucinations and confusion among the group. Survival depends on teamwork, communication, and making careful decisions while completing objectives and escaping alive. Rainbow Six Siege Operation Silent Hunt introduces Solid Snake as a new playable operator with tools built around reconnaissance and battlefield adaptability. His Soliton radar MKII scans nearby areas, reveals enemy positions, and highlights cameras or threats, while Precision Mode shows exact locations and vision cones for a limited time. Snake also uses the on-site procurement ability, which lets him collect different secondary gadgets from defeated enemies during a round. His loadout includes a marksman rifle or assault rifle, along with a suppressed pistol for stealth encounters.
Kept you waiting, huh? Never hurts to take things slow. Soldiers like us never get the chance. There's always one more fight.
Darwin's Paradox is a platformer adventure where players control Darwin, an octopus trapped inside a large industrial complex. Gameplay mixes platforming and puzzle solving, using abilities like swimming, camouflage, infiltration, and flexible movement to pass obstacles and avoid machines. Players must navigate dangerous areas, interact with strange creatures, and solve environmental challenges to escape the facility. Progress reveals parts of a larger conspiracy connected to Darwin's capture and the strange experiments around him.
My friend, have I ever told you about my past?
Kingdom Come Deliverance is a first-person historical RPG set in medieval Bohemia, where players control Henry, a blacksmith's son caught in a war after his village is destroyed. Gameplay focuses on realistic sword combat, survival needs, and skill-based progression instead of traditional character levels. Players take part in quests, duels, and political conflicts while managing reputation and equipment. The game also includes open areas, side activities, and decisions that affect how characters react to Henry.
All of him fled from the enemy, disobeyed your orders.
But you need training, arms, a horse.
Take me into your service and give me the chance to learn these things.
This land of ours is in the shit. Deep fucking shit.
Where's my fucking sword?
We will hack them to pieces.
Promise me you'll take care of yourself.
So much has changed since those days, but I can recall it all. The good parts and the painful ones. So, let's have a drink. And let me tell you,
Reanimal is a horror adventure where players control a brother and sister trying to rescue their missing friends from a dangerous island. The game can be played solo or in co-op, with both characters working together to solve obstacles and escape threats. Gameplay involves moving through dark locations by land and boat, avoiding monsters, and using timing and teamwork to survive. Progress reveals parts of the island's secrets and the events connected to the children's past.
Port Desire. A city that don't belong to anyone, but everyone wants a piece.
No Law is a first-person cyberpunk action RPG set in the port city of Port Desire, where players control Gray Harker, a former soldier trying to rebuild his life. Gameplay combines shooting, stealth, and movement abilities across a dense urban environment. Players complete missions, interact with different characters, and make choices that affect outcomes and story paths. Combat styles range from silent infiltration to direct firefights, with upgrades and gadgets that expand tactical options.
But desire is a fickle mistress. The city won't let me go. It won't forget my name. I asked for nothing, and they still came and took everything. The mayors and anyone that stands in my way, every last one of them. They're gonna learn something real simple.
ground. No one...
Terminator Survivors is an open-world action RPG set after Judgment Day, where players control a human survivor trying to rebuild society while machines hunt the remaining population. Gameplay includes scavenging for resources, building a home base, and completing missions that support the Resistance. Players fight or avoid Skynet machines using ranged weapons, close combat, and stealth tactics. The story also involves uncovering the truth behind the apocalypse while surviving constant threats, including the pursuit of a T-800.
Will be survivors.
Tankrat is an action game set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland where players control a digitized consciousness inside a combat drone that can take over armored tanks. Gameplay involves switching between the agile drone and heavy tanks while fighting corrupted machines across shifting battlefields. Players scavenge wreckage, dismantle enemies, and attach new weapons, armor, and tech to upgrade their vehicle. Each run through the wasteland focuses on survival, combat, and rebuilding stronger machines.